Hi, my name is Sherry Sanders, and I'm a county extension agent working in the field of agriculture for the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture, and this is Agriculture. Agriculture is a program where we celebrate women working in the field of agriculture in the state of Arkansas. This month's guest is Taylor Wiseman. Taylor is the Executive Director of the Arkansas FFA Foundation, and this is Taylor's story.
So after I graduated Bologna High School, I went to Southern Arkansas University, and again, I was in ag. I took ag classes. I was all into ag, and so when I visited Southern Arkansas University, I saw their agriculture program and knew that it was the best place for me to go. So I went down there and studied agriculture business. I also started pursuing a minor in Spanish, which was one of those things. I had goals of traveling the world, and knowing another language was something that could help with that. And while I was down there at SAU my freshman year, I was fortunate to serve as the Arkansas FFA State President. And so got to spend really that year learning college, but also serving FFA and traveling and really visiting with FFA members. And then at the end of that year, there was still something on my heart that said, I love FFA, but I don't feel like I'm quite done serving in a blue jacket. And so I was fortunate just over that next year and a half, really kind of discerned what that meant, and then in 2015 ran for National FFA Office and got elected to that my junior year of college, and then took a year off of school to serve in that capacity. Running for national office is kind of a unique experience, and so you are selected as the candidate for your state. And that year, I think I was fortunate because no one else in Arkansas wanted to be the candidate, so I got to be the candidate, and so that started about 8 months of, now looking back, really becoming the best version of myself that I could be, figuring out who I was, why I wanted to serve, and then how I could make an impact in the lives of other people. I think all of those parts had kind of been floating around in my life before, but to actually sit down and be able to articulate that was something that I think I learned throughout that year, and learned why is it that I like to do certain things. And even looking back as a child, like when I had goats, I was always going over to help other people clip their goats, wash their goats, and I think that really started. I always felt like I was more focused on how everyone else was doing and that they would be successful stepping in that ring, and making sure that I was bringing along others with me and not just trying to get to the top by myself. And so that was a really cool experience. And I remember getting to National Convention in the fall. It happens every fall. That's the election of the officers. And there's a nominating committee of 9 FFA members across the country that spend a week with you, really learning about who you are, your leadership philosophy, and then would you make a good leader in this role. And I remember getting to that week and thinking, even if I'm not elected, I just spent 8 months bettering myself for whatever the Lord has in store for me for the rest of my life. And so I remember thinking, like, okay, if this happens, I'm excited, but if not, like, I've got some other big dreams. Was fortunate that day I did hear my name called, and so when you run, you just run for an office, and the nominating committee puts that team together the way that they see fit. And so it was cool. I was elected with 5 others. There was 5 girls and 1 gentleman, and that was like the same makeup of my state officer team. So it definitely felt like it was meant to be with those teammates. And then, yeah, I took a year off of school. SAU was so supportive as I left for a year and traveled around. That year I went to 28 different states, got to interact and at least be in front of over 120,000 of our FFA members, and really kind of be that advocate for agriculture, but also a big part of FFA is leadership and service. And I really think that's kind of where that year allows you to lean into that, because you're going to states for such a short amount of time. And I've always heard that leadership is influence, and you can't really have influence if you don't know people. And so it was a challenge everywhere I went. How do you meet people and get to know them and their stories in a way that in the short time that you have with them, you can be of service to them?